Hello, I'm Valerie McLennan. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. I hope you're well. This is my December podcast. It is. This is early December, and this is my new podcast. Thank you. Valerie Mac, Scottish, spiritual, and very funny. Allegedly. Now, if you've been following me a while, thank you very much. I hope you're doing what I asked you to do and tell others, to tell others and to tell others, and to give them the link, point them in the direction of my YouTube channel. You know, that's all you have to do. If you're a new listener, thank you very much. And may I ask you to revert back and listen to my previous podcasts. Full of wisdom, sometimes full of wit, always wisdom. Sometimes I'll throw in a little story. You know, you just don't know what you're getting. You get all sorts. Just tune in and find out what kind of mood I'm in on the day. Now, I've started this new fashion. Did you notice the last few weeks giving you some jokes? I know. I only intended it to be like a one-off, as they say. Anyway, I know. So I've been doing it for maybe a few podcasts. Now, I've got another few today. Oh, hurrah, hurrah. I know. That's what I thought. So I'll give you another 2 or 3 little funny stories. If you notice, the thread through each and every one of them relates to spirituality. So they're not random, you know. They're not just random jokes. They're funny, I think, but there's a connection and a thread. All you have to do is look deeply enough into the joke, into the story, to find out where I'm going. Now, at the end, if I remember, hopefully, I'll be giving you a website. Have you got a pen? Have you got a pen and a piece of paper? Could you find it? If you know, I'm giving you enough advance notice. Find a pen, a piece of paper. I'll be giving you a website towards the end of this podcast. Thank you. Now, the first story. Now, remember, there's wisdom through each and every word I speak. There is a man and he's walking down a road and he trips and he falls and his foot gets lodged under a kind of a rock and he's seen the traffic coming towards him and the lace on his shoe is tied firmly under this kind of rock, boulder, whatever it is, but he can't move his foot. So he's panicking, like you would, because he's seen the lights of the traffic approaching and his foot is stuck in that thing, lodged in that rock. Anyway, now, this is a joke, remember? Anyway, so he tries to pull his foot, and as he pulled his foot, nothing. So in his panic, like people tend to do, he stared at the sky. Please, God, please help me get my foot out of this situation, and I promise you, from the second onwards, I won't drink again. I will never drink alcohol again. And he thinks that's it, job done. I have asked. It will be a no. He looks at his foot. Oh, still stuck. And the traffic lights are getting closer and closer. So in his panic, he screamed, God, I won't drink and I won't smoke ever again from this second. If you help me pull my foot out of the second. I know, he did. And he looked, thinking, that's it. Foot still stuck. So in his panic, as he was eyeball to eyeball with the traffic and the lights, he shouted, Lord, if you help me, from the second onwards, I won't drink, I won't smoke, and I won't swear. Promise, thank you. And he pulled his foot, and his foot came out from under the rock, and he rolled to the side just as the traffic was coming eyeball to eyeball with him. Now, as nature would have it, the man was lying at the side, and he looked at the sky, and he said, God, you don't need to bother, but thank you anyway. I managed to get my foot out by myself. Can you see what he was? Yes, I can see what he was doing there. So in other words, I don't need to stop drinking, smoking, swear, anything, because I managed to get my foot out all by myself. Isn't that human nature, isn't it? Gratitude, attitude, it's mainly attitude and no gratitude. Anyway, there is wisdom in those words, but you can also see there's human nature. I know, that was it. Did a job by myself, thanks God anyway. Don't need to bother, managed. I know, goodness sake. How do you think God feels? How do you think I feel? Anyway, the other one I thought was it's just funny. I don't even know why, but it just makes me laugh. There's a woman sitting in her house and her husband's kind of glancing over and he's feeling a chill in the air. You know, can we put it that way? A slight chill. And he's not sure what it is and he's scared to ask. So he kind of glances over and says, everything okay? I don't know if his voice had gone like that, but you know what I mean? Everything okay? And his wife said, well, I was just thinking. And he thought, why did I ask? I shouldn't have asked. Anyway, she said, I was just thinking, we've got new neighbours, and I notice every day that man leaves for work. His wife's at the door, and he kisses his wife on the cheek as he leaves for work. Why don't you ever do that? And he says, well, how could I do that? I hardly even know the woman. I don't know why that makes me laugh. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Maybe it's because I'm Scottish and I can just hear it in some of the people I know. I can hear it in their patter and I can imagine them, and I can imagine there's many people I know, many husbands, that I can hear saying, I hardly even know that woman. I know. Anyway, made me laugh. Maybe it's the Scottish bit. Don't know. What was my last one? Oh, the other one you've heard a million times about people praying for patience. Patient. Not patients as in a hospital bed, but patience. And the prayer, Lord, give me patience, and give it to me right now. And then he heard a little voice in his heart replying, patience doesn't work that way. And the man sighed a deep sigh, and he said, fine, then hurry up and teach me. Now, my point being, we're in December, everywhere you look, not everywhere, I'm generalising, you tend to look around, everyone looks panic-stricken, rushed, busy, trying to write mental notes, trying to write physical notes, whatever to get, whatever to do, whatever to do. And then if they have to stand in a queue, for goodness sake, all that kind of, I know. And you're thinking, many should learn patience. I know, especially this time of year. Yes, you will have to stand in a queue, unless you order everything online. And you know what happens then? Then you still go frantic because you think it hasn't arrived. Anyone seen my parcel? Do you see that every winter? I've said this before. Please, there's a caveat. My couriers, my drivers are very, very good. I know, just in case they're listening. Never the problem. They are here when they're supposed to be here, on the minute. They're actually very, very good. They're exemplary. Oh, she must be expecting a parcel any day soon. I'm being serious. My courier drivers who deliver my stuff are very, very good. Not sure where they come from, can't remember. The company. But they're very, very good, timely, and never missed a parcel. But then I look online, locally. Anybody seen my parcel? Anybody recognise this door handle as somebody's door handle? Have you seen a parcel? It's very important. I've ordered it, I paid it online, I paid it with my card, thinking it would be less stressful than having to stand in a queue. And now it says it's delivered, but it's not delivered to my house. I don't even have that door. Does anyone recognise the handle? But do you notice, I said this last year and the year before, do you notice when, generalising, when some people, if they're taking a picture to say your parcel's delivered, to these people, mine are fine. But when you're looking at it, you would never know. It could be any town, city or country in the world. There's the door handle. How many people have the same door handle? But there's nothing really to tell you where it is, what it is. There's just a door, Or some people end up with like 40 parcels that's not there for the whole street. I read that recently. To recognise any of these parcels. I found all these parcels. Who are they? As if somebody's just thrown them in the street. Now, my point being, people avoid the shops because if they're not standing in a queue, no. Then they order it online. And now for the next few weeks, this is what you'll see. This is what you hear. Found a parcel. I've ordered it. It was meant to be here yesterday. It's got my name, my address, but it's in some I don't even recognise. Is this the same town? Have you got it? Now, this goes on and on and on and on. You've got to learn patience. Now, see, if you actually physically left your house and went to a shop, you might be irritated having to stand in a queue. Why? Can you not just enjoy the ambience? Ambience! Huh? Let's do her. Ambience. Just stood in the queue. I stand queues all the time. Thank you. You work on your pay. This is it. Use that opportunity to find out if you've got patience or otherwise. If you see yourself stomping out the queue, as if your blood pressure's coming through your eyeballs, you will know. You have to work on your patience. Now remember, it's Christmas time, You look around and you think, what's wrong? Do people remember it's Christmas? It's supposed to be casual. You're supposed to enjoy it. I know, just to throw that in as well. If you're going around with high blood pressure, stressed out of your head, I don't really see where the enjoyment's coming in. Anyway, I wasn't even going there, but just thought I'd throw that in. Talking about patience, my couriers are very, very good. Exemplary. Yeah. And, I have no worry. If I order something, I know it shall be here on the day and the hour. I know you're saying, who do you use? Could we have that? Well, I'm sure if you ordered from the same company, you would have the same courier as I do. I have two who are very good. Yeah, he's maybe listening. I know. I've done enough. Do you want to put that in your CV? I know. Now, I hope you're all well. This is my December podcast, the first one in December. You mean there's more? Yes, there is. I know. How spoiled are you? So those little jokes are just... I've got a pen. Thank you. www.speakout.uk and put Valerie McLennan in the search bar. That's all I'm saying. www. I thought that was all you were saying. I know. www.speakout.uk. Put Valerie McLennan in the search bar and you'll find out who I am. And as I said previously, when you do find out who I am, could you phone me and let me know? Thank you. Now, I'll be offering talks next year. I will. And it'll be spiritual, a bit of humour. I'll be pointing out everyone, when we're on earth, we are all a work in progress. Nobody is perfect. We are all far from it. I'll add that just in case somebody's got some, probably somebody close to me has some sarcastic repartee. We're all a work in progress. If we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. My point on earth. We're supposed to be learning, at least if we're trying. If you're trying, that's all the Creator asks. Can you at least try and improve yourself? Can you at least try not to keep staring backwards? I know, as I said, the Creator would have put your eyes at the back of your head. If you were supposed to keep looking that way, your eyes are in the front of your face to move forward. If you're reaping over the past, raking over the coals, you have got yourself to blame. Other people can't, live in your mind, tell you how to think. Well, we can suggest, but if you're willing, year after year, to keep staying there in toxic land, what more can anyone else do? Nobody on earth, not a soul on earth is perfect. We're all a work in progress. We've just to try personal development, personal growth, to try and do our best while we're here. That's all we're asked to do. So I will be back on. I will. This is just a quick December one, a little few jokes, little funny things. That was funny. That was quite funny. Keep in mind, if you're working on your patients, stand in a queue and just see how you get on. Go on. If you find yourself getting frantic and staring at other people, burning a hole in the back of their head because they're taking 2 seconds to get served, just say to yourself, wait a minute, what did that Valerie woman, that very wise woman say to me? Oh yes, I have to work on my patients. Yes, and just stand, breathe and think, this is actually for Christmas. Why am I standing here frantic and stressed? It doesn't make any sense. So use the opportunity. I've been panic-stricken. Instead of sitting in the house waiting on a delivery that might not come, might end up there in next year in somebody else's house. And then you'll be seeing messages all over the place. Did you take my parcel in? Now, you would save yourself all of that distress if you just go shop. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be back on maybe tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Look after each other. Work on your patience. Take care. Bye-bye.